going on, everybody? We've got Casey with us as well as Erica, so I'm going to bring them up. I know a lot of you guys are listening in on the call, and we're just going to kind of talk about what was discussed at the trial today a little bit. I know a lot of you guys were listening, but Casey and Erica were also obviously listening in. Erica wrote a long letter. So to give the breakdown, Kash was sentenced to 48 months, which we thought was a little bit disappointing. By a little bit, we mean a lot of it. The judge made a very compelling case of why he's done a complete 180 in his life, which is why I think the sentence was tough. But again, the judge was incredibly fair, and we have to be very clear that everybody spoke, especially David, especially the prosecuting attorney, spoke incredibly high of Kash, which is again why I was a little bit upsetting the final result. And the one positive is if we discuss it, none of us have been able to talk to Kash yet. We don't know when we'll be able to talk to Kash. There was definitely some it just seemed like there was politics involved in terms of the capital. Unfortunately, it played a big role in his decision, it seemed. And unfortunately, he has not. Erica, has he been charged in that case at all yet?
He has not.
He is not. So it's, I don't know. We don't understand. And those that listened, we don't understand why they didn't separate the two cases. And that's kind of they did, it wasn't supposed to, but again, it was because he was on parole. But they were, it seems to me so much like what we've been trying to get away from in this country, which was punishing weed offenses of black men when they were young. And this is when he was 19, he's 32, and he's going to be currently under the jurisdiction of the courts. He'll be spending 4 years in a prison with other criminals after the judge to having a 180 degree in his life. And I think it's sad and unfortunate, but he did give an option. We have no idea what's going to come of it or what we're going to do. He did give the option to an appeal, which is interesting because Kash was not allowed. Kash actually revoked in 2017 when he made his plea. He revoked his what did he do? He revoked his right for an appeal then, but the judge actually opened it up to appeal the original case. From what I understand, that's what I heard. But it is going to be Kash's decision what he wants to do, and if he wants to fight that, and if he does, then we're definitely going to make sure that we have the right counsel to fight an original criminal case. That it sounds like the judge, if you were listening, the judge slammed the original case that he pled for, talked about his cooperation, talked about how was he really involved in the cocaine, and it was like he was, but he wasn't. And it was really, it's all based off of a large weight weed charge from 2007. Was it, Erica? It's 2007 or 2009?
Some time ago.
Yeah. So it's everything that we've been trying to get away from in this country. We just did. We went right back to it. Somebody that has changed with clearly the few letters that they talked about from a couple haters. I'm assuming we know a couple of the people that wrote the bad letters, but it was amassed by 40-something pages of positivity, which we had to send directly to the judge. And it's sad. So, Erica, I'm sure people want to kind of hear your thoughts and what you're thinking right now. And you're probably going to cry, and that's okay.
I'm disappointed, to say the least. I wasn't around when everything first got started with Kash and his case. And, I came into the picture after everything happened with everybody being indicted and everything. And the person that they gave time to today is not the person that I have been with. It's just, I don't even know. I'm kind of like lost for words. I should probably have more to say. I don't know. I'm here for him and whatever he needs me to do, however long it takes. When it comes to that kind of stuff, obviously I'll be here for all of the kids I talked with. Caden earlier, before court, after court, and just kind of reassured him that whatever needs to happen to keep their relationship going the best that I can, I will. So I'm sure until we figure out the actual time that he's going to serve and where he's going to be, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of driving and that kind of stuff, visits, and yeah, it's going to be rough. I have had an immense amount of support from everybody, so I do want to say thank you. I know I don't get on here and do these lives with you guys and stuff all the time. Kind of have my hands full here and just tending to everybody else's needs, phone calls, video calls, text messages. Even just today, people are just, it's overwhelming. I didn't even have time to answer everybody's. If I would have just told everybody thank you today, I would still be sending text messages, Facebook messages. It's crazy. I think Kash has a great support system. I thank all of you guys for supporting him, if nothing else. And I don't think that this is the final word. I think that there is potential for a different outcome, and whatever happens, however it goes, I'm going to be here for him.
And the judge did not give, he went above and beyond in terms of the ability for him to appeal. And I know I'm watching some of the chats go through. So this is Kash and I's and Erica's Patreon, our team Patreon. So this is, I'm sure we're going to be, if indeed we do proceed with a different outcome or an appeal, if that is the case, we will probably ask if there is support wanted in this. But in the meantime, the best we can do to do something for Kash, because as you guys all know, his Patreon was shut down, his YouTube monetization was shut down. They were in a decent place before this all happened, but Patreon is where we'll provide a little bit of extra stuff for people. The most that we can get from Kash, the most legally we're allowed to have and share with people will be there. So that's the Patreon. I put the t-shirts back up because I know a lot of people wanted them, and that'll be another means of support for now until we decide. Again, we really want to talk to Kash and see what his wishes are. The last thing that we talked about, him and I know Erica and I know Casey talked to him too, is the mission doesn't stop. And I think that is key. And I think that listening to what the judge said on how extraordinary of a case this was, because he has never seen that many letters and character letters and people that have been touched by somebody that he is having to give a sentence. He talked about how difficult that was. And it's like, when I read through the letters as well myself personally, it reaffirms how much we are doing as a group and what our powers are and what Kash has started, whether it continues or not. And I know Special Education K, Shirley, I know you want to get going with streetlights. So if Kash is gone for another year, or whether it's 4 years, this is where we rally the troops. So wherever he gets out, it's in a place that you wouldn't believe and he wouldn't believe when he gets there. And we hit the ground running with him as the same man that he was when he went in, and he knows that we've supported him and touched him as much as he's touched us. Thanks, Maddie. So again, that's definitely not the outcome we wanted. But there's always a glimmer of hope. There is a glimmer of light. Kash, if you heard him speak, he spoke from the heart. He was more humble than I've ever heard Kash. And it brings up some really amazing points that he wants to be there for his children, yet he's still got a difficult sentence. Casey, do you have anything?
I have plenty, but I'm disappointed like everyone, right? I am very disappointed. However, I'm not going to say it's done. The part that I see light in is the judge read a lot of these letters that we came together with. We showed our presence as a team and a group of people together. And Kash's statement moved me in general. It was amazing. Anthony, yours was amazing also. I loved it. Erica, I've read your letter, and if that doesn't move people, you're not human. You're a robot and you don't care. And so I know and believe in God that we will change this. It's going to take some time, and we'll work through this together. And that's my biggest thing that I keep focusing on, is we can still do it. But overall, the judge understood the circumstances. He read all the letters. He heard everything. And that's the part that I am positive about, is I'm glad he actually saw it. He didn't ignore it. He didn't just push it to the side. He made comments about how Kash made impacts on people that are elderly. And he was like, I don't want to say it, but they were older. And they said he changed their lives at the latter part. And that is where we got to keep pushing that motive and showing and explaining that. And Kash won't want us to give up, and we're not going to. We're going to keep going with this motive and this mission. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I really didn't. I mean, I think Erica and Casey and I and everybody, we kind of expected all different things. For some odd reason, I was thinking that he would get maybe 6 months. I thought the judge had the option. The decision went between a year and 4 months, but technically the judge could have gone as high as the recommended, which is, I think it was right around 10 years, 11 years, I believe. So he did give a lighter sentence than the recommended. A lot of people that are in the same case over the last decade, except for some of the severe offenders, have all gotten underneath 5. And Cash's was supposed to be probably the lightest of all, because he didn't have RICO statute on there. But we have to understand that whatever happened at the Capitol played a role. And hopefully after this impeachment on TV and after all this goes through and things die down and people stop feeding into the extremity of something that isn't. And they brought up something that before I spoke, and I'm like, do I bring it up or do I not? And I chose not to, probably smart. But the prosecution brought up how a police officer was killed at the Capitol, which has been proven not true like 3 days ago. Like 3 days ago, CNN did an actual story in the bottom of it saying how he died of a stroke, and their blunt force trauma turned out to be a rumor. And that was brought up in a court case completely unrelated in Indiana of a man that was just in attendance. I think it's frustrating that what the media has done is hurting people, and I don't think people realize that. People are like, oh no, we're just angry, and it's hurting people. And I encourage, I know there are some streetlights that are not conservative, and that's completely amazing, and that's fine. He said what he did. He also stood by the fact that he didn't think he did that much wrong. And I mean, unfortunately, people weren't there. The court wasn't there. Nobody was in DC that was in that courtroom besides Kash, me, and the picture painted is very, 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 very false. And I understand why people think how horrific and horrible it was, because they're seeing the same 12 minutes over and over again. And it's unfortunate, but we are going to fight in terms of fight for Kash and to support Kash's family, to support Erica. And ultimately, in life, you have two choices always. One is to lay down, and one is to become the man Kash has become. You can, we'll use that metaphor. You can stay in gang life, or you can do what Kash has done to get out of it and change the world around him in the perfect example of what Be the Change and what being a streetlight is about. And now I'm calling on everyone in this group, and this isn't about money. I'm calling on you guys to see, as we continue our shows, as we continue Truth Will Set You Free, as we continue Change Makers, as we continue Primetime Patriots and all the different things that we do, that we are going to have people, and I'm including all 15, 20, if you include all of Kash's previous followers before they took him off, 400,000 people. We have to rise above the hate. When people start churning and burning and throwing insults and talking about how horrific and, oh, but he's this, or Anthony, you're this, smile. Do it do what he does, which is just hug somebody. That's what he's doing right now. He's hugging me. What is going on right now? He wants, and I know that is ultimately what's going to win this. And what's going to win this is being the person that Kash has become, and to drop it. Drop arguments, drop fights, drop hate. That couldn't be any better proof of the change that he has created, the movement that he has created, is for people to come on to see that we don't fight back to words. There's no need. There's no need. So, again, I know people want the T-shirts, and that'll help, obviously, everything that's going on, whether it's Erica, the kids, or the possible court case. Woody, this is the weirdest you've ever been. So if you do want those, this is what they look like. I know a lot of people have already got theirs in the mail, but buy them for your friends, rock them. We'll take a whole bunch of pictures. We'll throw them up there. Mama Russo is getting the dog out. So they've got this guy, which is what I'm wearing. We've got this. We've got this, and we've got that. And it's you can see it on the bottom, the link going across. So if you want to check those out, you just go to here. We appreciate your guys' support. There's going to be more news to come in terms of what our plans are. I know a lot of people tuned in today. Thank you guys so much. Erica, do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, so first I want to tell both of you guys thank you. There is a handful of other people who have answered my phone calls when I'm freaking out and, just been there. I mean, Nikki is probably one of the people has been there for me day in, day out until early hours of the morning, taking my frustration and my sadness and my confusion. And to all of you guys, I just want to say thank you. I have got messages from, obviously, as you guys, if anybody heard on the call, I have angry family members and other things. And if anybody has questions about that kind of stuff, I have tried to answer majority of the messages that I've gotten. It's very time consuming, but I have no problem talking about whatever it is that's happening. Some of this was prior to Kash going viral, and it just led into an envious, I don't even know, I have no words for it, but yeah, if anybody wants to talk about it, I for the first time was talking with one of the supporters last night, and she asked me about it, and I spoke on it, just a little paragraph, and it made me feel better, just to get it out there of why these people feel the way they do. And for anybody negative, I'm not feeding into it. For the kids, we have teenage kids. So if everybody could just be a little bit respectful and just understand that, this is not just somebody going to jail, yeah, like privacy is a little bit nice, but yeah, overall, I appreciate all of you guys. I'm not all of the negative stuff. Like, I'm not going to entertain it. Everybody has been more than kind. So thank you.
Thanks, Erica. Casey.
You and I don't fight. Be a street light. I'm going to end on that.
Love it. Yeah, I keep reading through the comments as we go, and as we wrap it up. I know it's hard to just not fight back, but our message, like, let's look, the election is over. Let's be totally honest. Right now, our message is unity, and our message is love and caring and positivity. And no matter how long Kash is gone for, that is our message, and that is our mission. We will, of course, report on stuff with PTP, but we have to, if we can rise above as a group, there's so many of us that Kash has started this. Like, I started Be the Change 4 years ago. Be the Change was nothing without Kash, period. It was me and a couple guys, and we had Curtis and we have Aaron, and they were great. But the catalyst, Kash is a catalyst for change. That's what he is. And we have to finish what he started so that when he gets out, whether it's in 6 months or 4 years or whatever it may be, 4 years for people that are asking. It is that they're just jumping on. It's 4-year sentence, and it is not for the capital. It is for his charges when he was 19 years old. And we will, and people wanting to write to him, as soon as we know where he goes, he is going to want as much company as humanly possible. So we will make sure those letters, we give a place to get to him. He also did not yet get to read all the letters sent, apparently. We heard that on the beginning of the call, and he was a little upset about that. So he will get those, I'm sure, as well. But I just want to thank you guys. And Erica, you've been an absolute rock star in terms of being strong and, some people they fold under pressure, and you have done the complete opposite. So thank you. Casey, you're amazing. Nikki, 100%. And there's Suni, Blake, everybody's been amazing. So we will continue to give updates once we talk to Kash, what we're going to be able and allowed to do. And again, as Nikki said, we'll maybe do question and answers. We'll have Nikki come on whenever we'll have Erica come on. Sorry. Whenever we can, we'll do a Zoom under the Patreon, which I'm going to have to say Be the Change Patreon, because everything that Kash does right now is taken down. So like Erica started another Patreon called The Countdown for Kash, and that was taken down by Patreon as well. So we're going to keep it as me and Erica. That's it. It's Be the Change and Erica, and don't take us down, please God. So thank you guys so much. Again, support with the t-shirts, rock them, send the photos. I'm going to have Nikki organize them, and we'll just keep posting all the photos of Kash and the support. And hopefully, if there is an appeal, people can see that, and people can see, and this is very important, people will see the way that we react to people that don't like us. And that will reflect on Kash's change. So thank you guys so much. And we have to do it right. So unite, don't fight, be a street light, because only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, remember to pray. All of us. Thank you guys.